taxi far. We're going to go right here to the grass.
Yeah, that's all right. Just go ahead and tell me a little bit about taxi as we do it. You got tow wheel brakes, I assume.
Yep.
And do I have them back here?
They're heel brakes, and you have them back there.
I do have them back here.
It is an option.
Oh, I see them back there. Yep, okay.
And I would ask you to stay off of them so I know what's happening to the brakes.
I am off of the brakes.
So, taxiing is generally just like any tailwheel aircraft. You want to keep the stick back, pressure on the tail wheel, guide the aircraft with the rudders, brakes if necessary. The most important thing about takeoff and landing for a wheel plane is make sure that it's tracking straight when you touch the ground or when you leave the ground.
Now, something you said there that I never really thought about these, what I like to call big boy tires, there's a lot of square area touching the ground there. So when they were to get a sideways load, it would be considerably more than on a conventional, very small square area tire touching the surface. Those might actually slide a little bit sideways. These will probably tend to grab quite a bit more, wouldn't they?
They'll grip, particularly the concrete or the asphalt, because it's got a textured surface and they're smooth. It takes a while to warm the oil up. We have a rather large oil quantity. It's 8 quarts.
Now, we're using an engine from ECI in here. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's a Titan IO 340. Now a standard production run. It's one of their most popular engines.
The company has now been acquired by Continental, I believe, has it not?
That's correct. The Titan line will continue independently with some of the financial backing of a larger corporation like Continental, so I'm rather pleased with that. I'll tell you what, let's close the door, maybe shut some of this noise off.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's a little quieter right away there. Okay, so this engine produces 180 horsepower.
And it's really a good combination. We're real pleased with the way it works. But there is a difference in horsepower. Not so much a difference in cruise.
Yeah, so a big engine doesn't make you, some people think, oh, a big engine, you're going to be able to fly real fast. That doesn't really change it that much, does it? Because the airframe structure is more dominant than the engine power with regard to cruising speed.
That's correct. The real issue is the 180 horsepower is really only when you need that power, such as takeoff or a go-around. The rest of the time, you don't even come close to that. So, for example, takeoff fuel flow is approximately 11.5, 12 gallons an hour. But cruise fuel flow is 5.7, and you're doing about 90. So manifold pressure at takeoff is around 2992, but at cruise power, we're using 18 inches of manifold pressure. I don't know how that converts to horsepower, but it's a significant amount less.
So you're looking for 100 degrees, and
we're at 93 and climbing numbers.
And your airspeed indicator, which I see you've got tilted to the left there. It's about the camera should be able to see that as well, but that is showing miles an hour as well. It looks like.
That's correct, and you'll notice that it's rotated about 90 degrees. Out of the corner of my eye, all I do is look and see if the airspeed indicator is pointed the same direction I'm going when landing.
Okay,
so
well that
straight
makes some sense.
Straight up. I don't have to know whether it's 51 or 48. It's just straight up. Where if it was correctly oriented where 0 is up, I would have to look down at it and read it. And we finally got our temperature, so we'll do a little run up here and check the magnetos, which don't exist.
All right, and tell me how you're going to do your run up check.
Run this up to 1800 RPM. Let it stabilize. First ignition off. Clear. Back up to where it was. Second ignition off. Third. Back up to where it was. And that's it. Okay, I'm going to move the controls. All stops.
Okay.
That does two things. It lets you know how much I might need to do on takeoff. And I'm going to set the flaps for takeoff, which is the first notch. Clear final. Going
Mount Vernon traffic. Bushcat 609 Bravo Charlie, departing 33 Mount Vernon.
And I want to look at the final. It's clear. And then as I turn, I'll sweep the downwind to see if anybody's sneaking in earlier there and take the runway. And we get them a call. Mount Vernon traffic. Outback 9111, departing on the grass, runway 5.
Mount Vernon,
all right. right, getting ready to go here. I'm going to follow with you on the stick. I won't interfere.
You may add on to it all you wish. First thing we do is to go to full power.
So I feel that acceleration.
And raise the nose.
Turn to the west here.
And rotate. And
well,
it just goes
long.
And then pull the power back as we rotate. I've got traffic up ahead where Cole's going.
Mount Ladder and Highland.
Oh, I see him up there, yep.
Laps are coming up.
And so what power did you pull back to?
I pulled back just to get it out of the climb power, and it's about 25 square right now.
Okay, and what was it before you did that, just to give us a comparison?
2,700 and 29 inches.
All right. Yeah, for a lot of our viewers on these YouTube videos, Bill, they're not used to using manifold pressure. I've had some training in that, but give me the few sentences of description of what that means and why you use both numbers.
Well, the engine is breathing, so to speak, air, and it breathes it easier when there is more pressure available. Typically, on a normal day, there's 29.92 inches of mercury pressure, about 15 pounds per square foot, available for the engine to breathe. As you go up, or as you reduce the throttle, you actually close a door and allow less air to go to the engine, which restricts its horsepower output. And that's measured in inches of mercury. So it starts out with approximately 30, which is 2992. And then you move the throttle back, you're really adding fuel, but you're also reducing the engine's ability to burn fuel and air mixture at a, 15 or 16 to 1 ratio.
Okay.
As long as you keep that ratio the same and you add air and fuel at the same rate, the engine will produce more power. We're low level, Dan, and this is kind of this aircraft's environment. We'll go on up for the stall series, but we've got about a little less fuel than I want. We've got 45 minutes of fuel with the reserves. But I think the last time we were messing around in this field down low, just watching turns, and I was showing you what I call a power turn. So if you go down low and you make a turn, normally you'll just scrub off speed, but if you use the engine to provide thrust during that turn, you'll maintain your speed, and that's really important at slow speeds the aircraft can operate.
All right.
And we're cruise speed now, about 90. Slow down a little bit to stay inside this cornfield. I think it's the same one we were in last time.
I think it is.
But starting a turn from level here, just above the trees, I'll start a turn, but I'll add power so that I can pull these in the turn, but not lose any speed. I want to keep the speed about the same, so I don't scrub it off in the turn and then enter a stall with the wings up like this. Coming out of the turn, we've actually gained speed. I've added too much power.
Well, you've got a lot of power there to use, so you could do those kinds of things.
But it's a simple answer to just start the turn and bring the power in at about 72. And just keep it there. And then bring the power out as you roll out, and we're at 73.4. So factor 72. So we didn't lose any speed in the turn, and even though your stall speed goes up as you angle the bank of the wings, you're not going to you're not going to slow down, which will put you closer to the stall.
3 months.
And we'll go up now, which is full throttle, approximately 26, and whatever throttle manifold pressure you can get. In this case, it's about 28. And climb rate now is about 1,700 feet per minute.
1,700 feet per minute.
Now it's up to 18. And we're not at VX max climb rate yet. I'll go up and we'll
X-rays, final 3-3 Mount Vernon.
we'll do the stall series first and then come back down.
Oh, okay, let's do that.
Right, you got the aircraft.
Okay, so I'm going to level out here on the straight and narrow and do a little of my favorite stick wiggling exercise. And of course, I'm having to look over your shoulder a little bit here. Just
Can I get out of the way?
No, you'll do it just fine here. Okay, so a little over you using the rudder, it feels like, maybe. Maybe I don't need to use that much rudder, huh? Or am I underusing it?
I think you're underusing it a little bit.
Underusing it, okay.
Start the roll with pretty good rudder pressure and back off of it, and you'll be better off.
That's what I just noticed. It's during the initiation that you need...
yeah. There's a lot of drag created when you do that.
Yes, of course. So you're getting some adverse yaw and whatnot from it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's pretty, you know, I mean, for a beginner in this particular airplane, that's not too bad of Dutch roll exercises.
The intercom sucks. Yeah, the intercom's a little weak, I agree, but, you know, I gotta have something to criticize, Bill. Okay, going right. A little more rudder. A little more rudder. And don't raise the nose quite so much. Okay. That was the perfect amount of rudder. However that felt, it was just right. Well, I admit I'm having a little bit of a challenge with the rudder because my feet don't fit in there that well. So let me do this thing here now, you know, the old Dutch roll bit. To get it nice and true, okay? That's working. Well, when it works that well, that fast, that's a real good sign. That means you don't do it again. Right. That was good. Let's stop. Okay. Let's see a stall in the airplane, Bill. Let's go up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to goose some power. Okay. Let's do a clearing turn here. Nice part about the overhead is you can clear above your wing. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, I see nobody. Do you? Nope. But you never do. How many times you done that you've seen someone? Yeah, well, I don't want to admit that on video. But... oh, is this recorded? Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Okay, so power's coming back. Bring it on back. You'll have to keep the nose up, and I'll work on a little trim for you. Okay. And the wheel trim is right down there near my left rudder pedal. All right. Stick is coming back gently. I'm going to do this real gentle. You can feel the pressure coming off. Oh, yeah. Now watch. The airspeed will go away. There's no airspeed here. We're relying on the, there you are, 32. Wow. But I'm just holding it in stall, no problem. Yeah, look at that. Sit there and bob. We're just straight. Yeah, a little bit of porpoising, but slight forward motion, and I see the. I like the way you had your airspeed, your second airspeed indicator there. Yeah, this is really so you can see it. We've ordered one that's marked, but we set that up because this one goes to blank about 35, and I'm still maneuvering there. Ah, okay. All right, let's see. What's our altitude? 1900. Okay, well, I'm going to do one more. We're good. A little more aggressive. Not a lot more. Little ball on that side. Yep. You can't see the ball, so yeah, I kind of got to move my position a little bit.
And stick pressures are quite nice and light, actually. The rudder pedals, I'm affected a little bit by those wide shoes I've got on, so it feels like the rudder's a little stiffer.
They're equal. The pressure on the rudder appears to be about the same as the pressure on the aileron, which is what I want.
Yeah, so en route now with this big engine, so here I want to climb some. I'm not firewalling it by any means. You just sort of add in a little extra power. Now that's, I can't see the RPM, but how much RPM are we using?
2,500 and 25 inches. This is a good climb power setting for full. I mean, you can leave it set like that forever.
Oh, okay, okay. So 25 by 25 would be a good number to en route climb at, and you're not going to tax the engine or suck down extra fuel.
Nope.
Okay, I'm going to give the airplane back to you, and let's do a stall regimen.
I got the aircraft.
You got the airplane?
A little clearing turn both directions here, and we'll do the stall to the east. Stall series, let's try one without the flaps first.
Alrighty.
You'll feel the aircraft wants to
I'm with you on the stick.
Wants to D44. 39, and there's a stall. Feel the bob, it's still in the stall, it's coming back out.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's at 40 to 41.
40, 41 miles an hour, okay.
Now let's do one with flaps.
Okay, yeah, that was with no flaps, by the way,
No
that
flaps.
little exercise, all right.
Full flaps. Put the ball straightened away, there's 36. Watch the airspeed, it goes to 0.
Oh, yeah, yeah, the analog
stall.
airspeed indicator I see was all the way down to nothing.
Yeah, and the stall is mushier with the flaps, but it's still straight ahead without a wing drop.
Low wing.
The airspeed is 0.
Yeah, okay.
We're in a sync rate, but the airplane's completely controllable, back and forth.
Oh, wow, okay.
Flaps are coming up. The trim's rigged up. Got it. Between the washout of the wings and the tail, so that it is very aerodynamic, as much as a Cub can be aerodynamic. But that means that you can do very slow approaches too.
Yeah, sure.
Knowing that, okay, there's our stall speed. Well, you'll add a little bit in there for your grandchildren, but you won't really need to worry about the airplane falling out of the sky at 45.
And Rance Raven, right base for 33 grass.
Yeah, now, you know, especially with the Bush tires on it, with the big engine, with the configuration of the airplane, the known durability, this kind of plan form and so forth, this is obviously a Bush-capable airplane. And so that kind of very slow approach to a landing allows you to stick this in some places that you might not consider in some other airplanes. And the big engine helps you get back out of that spot. Is that a correct set of statements there?
That's true. The engine is actually more helpful. There are many airplanes you can get into a place and you can't get out. I was with a group of RV-8s up in the upper western part of the U.S. this summer, and we landed at a little ranch, and we realized density altitude we couldn't get out of there, so we spent the night. But I'm looking at always at fields, like this little plowed field right here, that would be a no-brainer. This one would be a no-brainer. This is beans. We go into beans up to about the height of the wheels before we entered any kind of a turnover things. Corn is not a good thing. It tends to grab you and it's tall.
Yeah, it's tall, so we need to do some steep turns. So I would like to do the steep turns.
You got it. Your caravan is yours.
Airplane is mine. Okay, so let's see, where's the airport here? I was looking down at my
Straight
camera.
ahead. Let's go back the other way.
So let's cut back this way
Or
a little
just
bit.
start the turn, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we're far enough away from it here, and our altitude is currently showing
1,200.
About 1,200.
Well, right now we're at plenty of power setting. We're at 22 and 20 inches of manifold.
All right, I'm going to execute to the right.
I mean, the camera or too late.
That's all right. We'll come around on this one.
Runway 33, Mount Vernon.
A little bit of back pressure needed, but not much. I think I'm holding the altitude pretty well.
You're dead on, actually. I don't want to brag about you on camera, but it's not bad.
I got the RV in sight.
Well, I have to admit, I'm doing it mainly by horizon and the nose.
RV.
So that makes it pretty easy to do.
Not bad. That's 10 feet off in the turn. And you've gone past 360.
Yep, I did. Well, I was doing a 720, so.
Oh.
Which I didn't quite get to yet.
A good answer, of course. And we've lost about 4 knots, so I'm going to sneak a little power in on you.
All right. So now I'm coming around, should be coming around to my 720 position now, am I? We're going to go to the left then now.
Traffic, right sling, turning left downwind.
Now, one of the things that's easier about I need a little more rudder there. Okay, now it feels better again on my rear. One of the things that's easier about a tandem airplane is that in a side-by-side, when you do steep turns each direction, it feels a little different to each side because you're off-center. Here, I'm on center, and it's a little easier to do, although I'm still wandering a little more in my altitude this time.
No, actually you're not. You've gone just a little bit high.
A little bit
maybe
high,
gone 20
okay.
feet up, and you've gone completely around 360.
Mount Vernon traffic is...
I think, no, there's 360.
Yeah, just hit 360, coming around for the second one now.
5.5 miles to the...
It's rather stable. You're at 1530, and you were started out at 1530. I'm bragging on you here.
It's the airplane.
Yeah, a little hint here is if you go high in a turn like this, a little bottom rudder. You don't change your pitch, just a little bottom rudder. Like
Hold a little bottom rudder.
Just a little pressure, not necessarily moving it, just pressure.
All right.
And then reverse that pressure for the rollout.
Yep. And I think I was a 720.
Yep, That was 1530 right there.
The images look good. Well, okay, airplane's back to you.
Okay, I got it.
You got the airplane? All right, let's head back and do a landing approach and tell me how that goes. Or if there's anything else you'd like to show me.
Oh, I'm just going down. It's actually got great visibility too. I'm always pleased with the horizontal as well as the vertical. In a turn, I do tend to lift my wings and look at the lower part of the horizon, but as soon as I get into a bank, I can see out the top.
Oh yeah, you got tremendous.
I can see where we're going.
Yeah, now that didn't take too much angle. Do that again and let me see when I can start seeing out the top.
Right, okay. So I'm looking out at the lower part of the horizon now, and I dip down until about right here. Now I can see the upper part.
Yeah, that didn't take long at all. That was about maybe 30 degrees at bank.
20 degrees right there.
So it doesn't take much before you start getting that. And yes, these side windows, they're like a big wide picture window.
And the upper window is the 20-degree view, and I picked up an airplane on downwind over. I guess he's departing. I don't know.
Cross the runway and take a left downwind for 33.
Burning traffic, Cub 911 turning final, runway 33 for the grass, and we have the traffic landing on the hard surface. Okay, one of the advantages of the drag of an airplane like this is you reduce the power even on your final, which gives the ability to look things over if you're landing in the uncontrolled areas, look things over and still slow down in time to get the flaps deployed, get to your landing area.
Yeah, you're not zooming in on the runway at a high rate of speed. And the flaps I see are down there at by your left leg.
From the northwest.
The long handle.
Going to join left traffic for 33 Mount Vernon.
There's a strategic tree located right there at the end of the runway. I don't know if they could have put the runway over the other side. It would have helped a lot. Okay, flaps are set. Mixture's rich.
And how much flaps are you using?
I'm using full flaps, which is 40 degrees.
40 degrees, okay.
Yeah. I'm just floating a little bit past this tree.
Yeah, he's right there all right, isn't he?
Yeah.
Over the runway?
Yeah. Just bring the nose up and up and up and touch the wheels down. Keep it rolling. Go around is just a matter of adding power, raising a nose, milking the flaps up.
It's runway 33 Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon traffic, Grand Ravens, departing 33 on the grass, right-hand pattern.
Mount Vernon traffic, a red and white Sling 4 is inbound on an extended left downwind for 33 Mount Vernon.
Takeoff roll, landing roll.
Takeoff roll is 60 feet for solo and 81 feet dual. The airplane can develop a sink rate, and the engine is what you use to stop it. You don't raise the nose.
White and red Sling 4 is on the left downwind.
You're really slow.
33 Mount Vernon.
A little bit gusty, but that's just a good excuse.
Yeah, there's our friendly tree there, right exactly on the landing approach and very close to the runway, but...
Need to hire some beavers for now.
Mount Vernon traffic, white and red Sling 4 is on base 33 Mount Vernon.
And those big tires sure make every landing nice and soft.
They just make me a great pilot, that's all there is.
Mount Vernon traffic, runway swing, turning downwind, 33 downwind. Mount Vernon traffic, white and red Sling 4 is turning final 33 full stop Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon, Texan 2.
Oh, we'll head to the camera.
Yeah, go right to the camera there.
I'll make him duck.
Oh, he's showing off a little bit. Look at this thing turn. Whoa, that'll make you dizzy almost. That's such a tight turn, that's fun. And we're going the other way.
Oh, just talk about craziness.
We're having more fun than we did in the air
Break
almost.
that tail wheel off.
Don't do that.
No, I mean break it loose.
Well, don't break it off either.
That'd be bad form.
All right, he probably enjoyed that.
Here's another thing. You cross something, you cross right at the light. Now, see how close those lights are?
Yeah.
That tells me I'm not sure there's a light not in front of us, so I'm going to actually do that kind of turn to show you that it's a useful turn.
I see, yep.
So I'm looking to see, is there a light right in front of me? Now I see there isn't, I can turn back.
Right.
So it's not completely a gee whiz thing that you can use, but it does let you know. If you cross off the grass or onto the grass, you want to cross right next to a light. Generally, there's not one right in front of you.
Yeah, have the option serious.
They're usually about 100 feet apart. But I saw how close these were, and I stopped for a minute and thought, aha, teaching moment.
Very good.
Mount Vernon, 1 Tango Lima high wing on the downwind for runway 33, Mount Vernon.
All right, well, that was great.
That was unscripted.
Bill Canino, Sport Air USA, showing off in the Outback a little bit, the Savage Outback. The big engine. This was a nice day to go flying, as it turned out.
You really brought the sun out. Okay, powering off.
All right, power down. We're good.